by what is probably his first choice starting front three, Suarez, Neymar and Messi. And they need to get goals because Atletico Madrid looking very solid defensively.
No room for Xavi in the starting lineup or on the bench today, which means it's a great opportunity for Ivan Rakitic, who began the season so promisingly for Barca, then was left out of Barca's first big game, really, when they faced Real Madrid in the Bernabeu. And since then, Rakitic seems to have lost a little bit of confidence. Opportunity for him tonight to try and regain some of that spark in midfield for the Catalans.
Well, yeah, Rakitic maybe wouldn't have been chosen ahead of Xavi for this game. He's the beneficiary of Xavi being slightly injured. He has been training, but has not been past fit, like Jeremy Mathieu, who has been past fit, but has been left out of the squad.
Absolutely. We're going to bring you the lineups now for Football Club Barcelona. It's Claudio Bravo in goal, Dani Alves, Gerard Piqué, Javier Mascherano, Jordi Alba at the back, Rakitic, Busquets and Iniesta in midfield. Up front, Messi, Luis Suarez, Neymar de Silva. Certainly for Luis Enrique, it seems he's got no doubt about his back four, his front three. The doubts he does seem to have in midfield. For Atletico, it's Miguel Angel Moya back in goal in the league, Juanfran Jimenez, Godin and Jesus Gomez in the back four, Gabi and Thiago in the pivot in front of them, Arda Turan, Antoine Griezmann and Koke playing behind Mario Mandzukic up front. Griezmann certainly fought his way into this Atletico side, as at the back have Jesus Gomez and Jose Maria Jimenez, who both put in really good performances in the Cup midweek. On the bench for Barca, Ter Stegen, Adriano, Marc Bartra, Rafinha, Sergi Roberto, Munir El Haddadi, Pedro Rodriguez. The referee tonight, Undiano Mayenko. On the bench for Atletico, Jano Black, Guillermo Siqueira, Sal Niguez, João Miranda back available for Simeone once again, Mario Suarez, Raul Garcia, Fernando Torres. I'll tell you what, Duncan, to me that Atletico bench looks a lot stronger than Barca's tonight.
Well, we saw this as well when Sevilla came calling at the Camp Nou. Barcelona so used to having such a star-studded bench. It appears Atletico have a little bit more on offer, including, of course, Fernando Torres, who made his La Liga debut in the first division at the Camp Nou against Barcelona on the 1st of September 2002. Has a chance to make his second debut tonight, and he's got a good record as well, Torres, coming off the bench if he does so later on. 5 goals in 6 games here.
He's certainly the black beast of Barcelona a little bit, certainly until he left these climbs for the Premier League. And here Leo Messi receiving yet another honorary plaque.
It is the prize for top goal scorer in the history of La Liga. He's being presented by Carlos Lechak, and of course the Camp Nou with the biggest applause so far tonight for Leo Messi, who's got quite the trophy cabinet. I'm sure that will take some place in his home on one of the mantelpieces there.
Well, it's certainly not the most impressive looking trophy, but when you think about what the achievement actually means, the all-time top scorer in the Spanish First Division for Leo Messi, still with plenty of football left in his boots, and well, if he wants to, plenty of time to continue scoring goals for Football Club Barcelona. We've noticed him playing, Duncan, a little bit further back, gradually appearing to pick up the role of assist and playmaker, assist giver and playmaker, leaving some of the goal scoring responsibility for Neymar and Suarez. I think that's a positive step for Leo Messi for the future.
It is, because his game will change when he loses a bit of pace.
A minute's silence, obviously, for the terrible events in Paris over the weekend. We'll join in the silence. We are all Charlie. Well, there's the minute's silence in memory of the victims of the latest tragic circumstances, this time to hit France. And now, well, it'll be especially emotional for French players on the pitch, like Antoine Griezmann. That's just about it, actually, with Mathieu left out for Barca. But the whole world of sport, and especially the Liga BBVA, showing great concern and solidarity with the victims. Now the football gets underway. It's Atletico, surprisingly perhaps, playing in white. That's always guaranteed to annoy a little bit extra the fans at the Camp Nou, reminiscent as it is of Real Madrid. I can't imagine any other reason for Atletico to choose white, except to, well, have a little bit of a go at their host tonight. It's Barca playing from left to right. Straight away, that one's won by Koke, trying to get into the box, blocked by Gerard Piqué, who took that one on the bridge of the nose.
Gerard Piqué, another of those players who wasn't featured last weekend in La Liga, and they haven't got a great record without Gerard Piqué this season when they've dropped points. He's coming at the back alongside Mascherano. Again, it's Bartra who makes way.
Well, Jesus Gomez with the throw. He came in at left back to replace the injured Cicada. Cicada now fit again on the bench tonight. But Gomez has done a good job, and as a result, Diego Simeone keeping Jesus Gomez, the former Malaga player, in the starting 11. Griezmann caught offside there.
A surprise as well with Ansaldi out injured. It appeared Simeone had been training with Cicada at left back, goes for Gomez instead, and Gomez, a decent player, will always put in a shift, as he showed over his seasons at Malaga.
Neymar gets his first touch. He was on sublime form on Thursday on the same stage here in the Camp Nou against Elche in the Cup, and certainly looking every day to have more confidence in this Barca lineup. Messi finding Alves. Busquets gets rid of it quickly under pressure from Mandzukic. Mascherano.
Well, Neymar has already scored more goals for Football Club Barcelona than he did in all of last season. So finally finding a bit of form. And I think, as you said earlier, Leo Messi's new role has added to that. He's turned into a provider more and more. Does mean that Leo Messi is slightly lower down on the goal-scoring charts, trailing Cristiano Ronaldo.
Mascherano stubs it back to Claudio Bravo under pressure from Griezmann. Of course, what this Atletico side do so well is neutralise their rivals' usual game plan and then hit them with deadly accuracy, usually on the break. Juanfran anticipating that one. It'll be a throw to Barcelona. Jordi Alba to take it. Juanfran again. No qualms in putting it out of touch once more. Now Neymar wins a corner. It came off Juanfran once again. And first opportunity for Barcelona to put Miguel Angel Moya under pressure.
Well, in the absence of Xavi, it's going to be Rakitic who takes most of the corners tonight.
Piqué up for this, being watched closely by Jimenez. And the player's down, the whistle's gone. And, well, Piqué disagrees with Undiano's decision there. You see blocking Godin there, and the Uruguayan centre-back going down.
Well, he runs into him. Piqué was obstructing the run row and had moved to one side, and Godin making a meal of it, just so the referee would spot him. That's going to be a good battle tonight, Piqué against Godin, every time there's a set piece.
Suarez battling there. In the end, losing out to Jimenez. Suarez gets it into the box. Neymar storming through, managed to get a touch. It goes safely into the hands of Moya. But just a moment of hesitation there from Jose Maria Jimenez.
Well, Jimenez, who scored against Real Madrid in midweek. Moya has come back in goal, replacing Oblak, who had a great save in that game and has proved himself an able understudy to Moya. But Simeone wants Moya back in the La Liga encounters.
Gabi wins the throw-in. It came off Andres Iniesta, who for just about the first time since bursting into this Barca side all those years ago, has come in for a bit of criticism at late. He's not enjoying his greatest form, although with Iniesta, the brilliance is always shimmering just under the surface, if not on it. Neymar wins the throw for Barcelona.
There have always been isolated criticisms for Iniesta. Maybe he doesn't score enough goals and certain other aspects of his play, but he always papers over the cracks with some excellent performances, always creates a few points for Barcelona at important times. But it seems at the moment nobody immune to criticism at Can Barca.
Leo Messi back to Dani Alves. His contract, of course, is up at the end of this season. He's able from now on to enter discussions with future employers. Chance on the break, perhaps, for Atletico. Gabi caught napping, and that's good work from a combination of Iniesta and Neymar. Leo Messi has got Alves outside him to his right. Messi prefers to put the cross in himself, headed clear by Jimenez, only as far as Rakitic. Alves again. Messi. Here's Rakitic now. Busquets under pressure from Mandzukic. Piqué picking out Mascherano. Mascherano, it's intercepted easily by Gamez, cleared by Jimenez.
I think some more ambitious play from Javier Mascherano this season, whereas previously he'd play the ball only sideways or back. Now he's looking for those balls upfield, the diagonals over to the wings, trying to find Alves and Messi. It doesn't always come off for him.
Iniesta ran himself into trouble. The loose ball came to Alba, and Barca can start again with Piqué. Atletico quite happy to sit back. Three pretty distinct lines there in front of the penalty area. Alves goes down, wins the throw-in for Barcelona.
Well, Atletico have two ways of starting games. They can either go all-out attack, and they've proven to be adept at that, or they can defend, but really in an organised manner and just soak up the pressure and wait for their chances.
Jordi Alba on the ball for Barcelona. Here's Neymar. Cutting inside, finds Suarez, who gets it back from Iniesta. Nowhere to go, and Arda Turan starting the break for Atletico. He's held back by Jordi Alba. Good play there by the left back. Chance now. Gabi winning that from Rakitic. Arda Turan. Gabi once more. Barca have had chance to get themselves back. Rakitic stealing it from Thiago Cardoso. It comes to Suarez. Neymar in front of him, Messi in the middle. Here's Neymar. Rakitic and Alves joining the attack. Suarez gets into the box. Finds Rakitic. Now Andres Iniesta. Jordi Alba wide on the left. And finally, Javier Mascherano picking up the loose ball. Here's Busquets. Dani Alves looks up. Plays it out to Rakitic. Gerard Piqué. A rather imprecise one from Piqué. And that'll be a throw to Atletico Madrid. 8 minutes on the clock in the Camp Nou.
Well, in theory, Leo Messi is playing on the right of the attack, but he's dropped so deep, he's almost playing just in front of the midfielder, if not on the right wing so far. We'll see him get forward, I'm sure, in the next few minutes as he goes looking for a ball.
Griezmann lost out to Rakitic. Here's Neymar. Bit of space for Neymar now. It's a brilliant run. He finds Leo Messi on the edge of the box. Messi went round Gamez with ease. Couldn't hit the target though. But that's the first time Atletico have been even slightly caught on the wrong foot. And Neymar driving towards the area. Messi going outside Gamez, but with his weaker right foot, unable to hit the target.
Well, that was Messi coming back into the middle because Suarez was but a mere spectator. Their ball passed in front of him. Couldn't make himself available for a cutback from Leo Messi. And Messi's first shot of this game.
Whistles around the Camp Nou for the time it took Moya to take the resulting goal kick. Busquets picks out Messi again. Messi, oh, what a superb idea, looking for Suarez. Just misplaced the pass. Now it's Thiago trying to get away from Rakitic. He finds Koke. Koke over the top. Mandzukic was never going to get there. Atletico certainly in these opening 10 minutes happy to sit back and wait Barcelona to a certain extent. Here's Dani Alves now.
Well, then Griezmann may have a player to break because Mandzukic is not going to be sprinting upfield. But Griezmann can hold it up as well if he gets the ball into the opposition half, where it has very infrequently been so far in this game.
Neymar on the ball for Barcelona. Turan sticking with him. He lays it back to Andres Iniesta. Mascherano. Now Iniesta one more time. Neymar, first time to Rakitic. Neymar, he was aware of the position of Suarez behind him. Just failed to make the tiny contact necessary. But again, the ball immediately back in Barcelona's control. Jordi Alba back to Mascherano. The fans getting behind the home side. Here's Dani Alves. Messi. Helped out by Rakitic. He was tugged back by Godin. Messi finds Dani Alves. Messi in the box. Gets around Godin, cuts it back to Suarez. He miscontrols. Neymar on the far post. It's a dreadful error, I think it's fair to say, by Miguel Angel Moya. The defence in general not looking too tight there. And Neymar says thank you very much. Could go down as an assist from Luis Suarez, but really it was an error. And it's Neymar who gets his 12th league goal of the season, and on 11.5 minutes makes it 1-0 to Football Club Barcelona. Rakitic there pulling it back for Messi. Alves returning the ball to the Argentine. He manages to get beyond Godin, manages somehow to thread the ball through along the very edge of the 6-yard area. Suarez unable to control it. I think it's actually unfair to put too much blame on Moya there. You couldn't have expected Suarez's assist coming from that error, and Neymar, all he had to do, bundle it over the line. 1-0 to Football Club Barcelona.
Well, bobbling off thighs and shins, just getting past Juan Fran. Moya left a bit stranded. But Atletico invited on the Barcelona pressure.
Neymar combining superbly with Suarez. Jordi Alba with a shot. Suarez unable to take advantage of the rebound when Moya couldn't hold it. Barcelona storming forward. Atletico now looking to really make their dominance pay. Alves caught napping by Griezmann, well supported by Rakitic, who tells Piqué to just calm things down a little.
I think Simeone had most likely told his players just keep organised for the opening 15 minutes, and just before that time period's up, Leo Messi cutting over from the right-hand side, putting that ball across, and Neymar scoring. And that's going to completely change the Atletico Madrid plan, because they're now obliged to go at Barcelona, and the game might open up a bit more.
So tremendous driving shot from Alba, arriving right in the corner of the box, well spotted by Neymar. But that goal was all about Leo Messi working his magic in the Atletico penalty area. Quite incredible the ease with which he got around Diego Godin, and the cross to Suarez may have looked easy, but he had about 4 or 5 Atletico defenders to get the ball through and managed to do it with ease. 1-0 to Barcelona, and nervous moments for the visitors.
Diego Godin, he's no normal defender either. He's perhaps a candidate for one of the best players of 2014. And Leo Messi just going round him as if he was nothing.
Here's Griezmann. It's a good ball in, headed clear by Jordi Alba. And finally the shot from Koke on the edge of the box, just dragged wide of the post as we near the quarter of an hour. There's that tremendous work from Messi. May even have surprised Suarez. just wouldn't have expected Messi to be able to put the ball where he did in such fantastic conditions. Certainly surprised Jimenez as it bobbled off Suarez's thigh. But they all count.
Neymar deserves plenty of credit for that as well, for his reflexes, because it wasn't right at his feet. He had to fling himself at the ball and got ahead of Moya.
Koke going in firmly to challenge Messi, as too does Griezmann. Messi shakes the challenge off, but he's brought down from behind by Antoine Griezmann and wins a free kick. The Camp Nou expecting Undiano Mayenko to get his hand in his pocket for that, but it appears the free kick is punishment enough. Nothing that Moya could have done about that. That's the start Barca needed. Rakitic standing over this one. Rakitic putting it along the face of the box. Neymar's shot blocked. It fell to Iniesta. Back to Rakitic, a rather hopeful one.
And Neymar appears to be in some discomfort. Ball blocked from close range as he tried to unleash that shot.
Well, in fact, it's a tremendous challenge by Jose Maria Jimenez, isn't it? And he may well get some of the ball, but he got some of the ankle as well, I think, with the studs up. Very risky challenge on the edge of the box, but one that Jimenez had to make. And Neymar, meanwhile, feeling the repercussions of that.
Neymar puts his foot through the ball. There's no pulling out. I wouldn't expect Neymar to have any problem in continuing, but he's certainly received a hefty blow on the ankle. I'm not quite sure who the whistles and jeers are for.
Well, Jimenez, the youngster, still just 19, I think possibly for the referee, because I think the home fans felt that could well have been a free kick. And as you can see, it's done some damage to Neymar. He's going to have to get that changed before being allowed to continue, one would have thought. As I say, Jimenez in the side alongside fellow Uruguayan centre-back Diego Godin, basically because he's done so well in the last couple of games. A little bit fortunate there, however. Undiano goes back, finally realises that Neymar's still on the ground, hence the whistling, and quite able to point out to the referee that he's not faking it. I'm sure that looks worse than it is, Duncan, but that's quite a nasty one, right on the inside of the heel.
Well, no doubt about the contact. It has spread underneath the sock, which has made it look quite nasty. Quite nasty there on the replay as well. That's certainly not one you get from hitting a shot at the ball.
No, I think it's quite clear to see after a couple of replays that the contact with his ankle, there the studs are up, he doesn't hit the ball, and although Neymar's got rid of it, he comes in very late there, Jimenez, and Barcelona have a shout, a very good one I think, for either a free kick right on the edge of the box or even more. I think fair to say it was just outside, but Neymar is going to have to be aided off the pitch. Meanwhile, Pedro Rodriguez is warming up, but I think Neymar signalling to the bench that he's going to need a change of socks. I don't think that's going to be too serious.
Well, he's not asking for the substitution, he's asking simply for a change of attire. I think Barcelona might just hold off for a couple of minutes as Neymar is treated on the sidelines. Play with 10 men. It's not as if Atletico are really going at them, and just weather the storm and see if Neymar's okay to continue.
Gerard Piqué for Barcelona under pressure from Griezmann. Mascherano with a bit of a loose one. Rakitic got his head to it. It falls for Jesus Gamez. Dani Alves in firmly to intercept, and not too happy with Jesus Gamez, who appeared to land awkwardly on the Brazilian. Thiago heading it forward. Piqué dealing with it well. Busquets. Gabi heads it back. Busquets again. It falls for Messi. Well, plays himself into a mass of Atletico players and wins another free kick. And completely opposite reactions from the two managers in the technical area. Simeone feeling play should have been waved on, and Luis Enrique feeling there should be some more severe punishment meted out.
Well, both just straying just outside their technical areas. I would not be surprised if the referee gave them a talking to at some point in this game.
And Games again late on Messi, and this time the hand goes into the pocket. It's the first yellow of the evening. The Camp Nou not at all happy. It's the one criticism that's made of this Atletico side, really, that they do play very much on the limit of what is permitted in terms of physical contact. Real Madrid in particular, after losing 2-0 in the Cup the other day, were very critical of some of their players. Certainly, as we said at the beginning, Duncan, we knew that this one would certainly be a tough physical test for Barca. Applause for Neymar as he comes back onto the pitch with a new pair of socks.
It's a new pair of socks, but it's another bloodied pair, it appears. He may even have put the same one back on, but that blood flow does not look like stemming at any point in the near future. Neymar brought back on it. Pedro's still warming up on the sidelines just in case. We'll see in what kind of condition Neymar is in.
Dani Alves, beautiful flick in, and it appeared as though Neymar and Suarez got in each other's way a little bit there. Great ball in from Alves. In fact, Suarez doesn't get a touch and pointed to the corner as though it may have come off a defender. Goal kick given, however, by referee Undiano Mayenko.
Well, it appears Neymar can still run on the ankle. It's probably just a broken bit of skin from the studs of Giménez. He was side-footing the ball as the studs clattered into him, so it's not an injury to an instep and unlikely any damage below the surface.
Alves doing well there, although clearly came off the Brazilian last. And Griezmann wins the throw, which Jesus Games will take. Halfway through the first half here in the Camp Nou, it's Barcelona 1, Atletico 0. The goal scored by Neymar. Giménez. Messi intercepting it. The flag stays down for Suarez. Oh, he gets beyond Giménez brilliantly. Neymar, and he heads it wide. Brilliant break from Luis Suarez. The ease with which he got beyond Giménez was, well, almost subtle the way he does this. Lovely pass to himself, the delicate chip. Neymar will be disappointed not to have hit the target with that.
That is the Liverpool Suarez from last season, looking for the supporting striker, and Neymar just not able to finish off the deal. But that's the best movement that we've seen so far from Luis Suarez in this game, who at times has got in the way of his fellow strikers.
Suarez, of course, so good at getting away from one defender and finding himself behind him in space. Showed that the other day in the Cup, and just then making life difficult for Giménez. Alves to Rakitic. Here's Messi. Well, it's all Barca at the moment. Jordi Alba to Neymar, who appears to be suffering not at all from that cut ankle or heel. And Alves gives away a free kick there. Quite clearly, I think it's fair to say, obstructing Coque's progress. Free kick to Atletico.
Wasn't enough for a yellow card, but it was enough to allow the Barcelona players to get back and to stop a fast break from Atletico Madrid.
Barca win it straight back. Luis Enrique will be pleased with the way this has started. Simeone looking, I think it's fair to say, enraged in front of the Atletico dugout. Really, Atletico very much second best so far.
Well, they've been inviting Barcelona on, but after the goal, Barcelona have just continued their dominance. And we've just seen that one shot from Koke for Atletico Madrid, and very little of a threat since then.
Suarez quick to look for a break there with Neymar. Neymar unable to make the return pass to the Uruguayan. Ball gets away from Jesus Gomez. And there's that opportunity for Neymar. Excellent setup by Suarez. Miscued, it'll be a throw to Atletico.
Well, it was miscontrolled perhaps on purpose by Diego Simeone, just to allow him to give an instruction to Atletico players. He wants them to be compact, he wants them to be organised, because Barcelona can really hurt them if they are not organised at the back and in the midfield. Barcelona have broken on a couple of occasions in this game through Suarez and Neymar.
Alves penalised again for this challenge on Arda Turan. Just slowly but surely Atletico start to get a slight foothold in things, applying a bit more pressure on the Barca defence. Mandzukic joins Jimenez and Godin up for this one. Koke plays it short to Thiago. Here's Arda Turan. Back to Koke. No way through, it comes back to Gomez. Arda Turan, Koke, lovely return flick there by the Spanish international. Arda twisting and turning. In the end, it's a firm challenge by Mascherano. Alba gets it away. Here's Gomez. Fouled by Neymar. Free kick to Atletico again.
First extended spell of Atletico Madrid possession. A couple of delightful flicks along the way. That from Koke was spectacular.
Gabi looking for Griezmann, finding the head of Jordi Alba. Here's Neymar. It does well. Rakitic having to stretch, though. Won in the end by Diego Godin. Lovely flick back from Griezmann. Perhaps unfortunately for him, he found Godin and not Arda Turan or Koke. Neymar trying to set Luis Suarez through. In the end, the ball going through harmlessly to Miguel Angel Moya.
Well, Luis Suarez was snaking in and out, trying to remain onside. Leo Messi was calling for the ball. Normally it would be Messi who makes that run through the middle forward to run onto a pass. He was just waiting and holding back, as we've seen so often from him so far this season.
Griezmann battling with Jordi Alba. The throw goes Atletico's way. Jordi Alba disagrees, so do the home fans. Griezmann leaves it for Juanfran. .28 minutes on the clock. Atletico have stopped Barcelona's easy early dominance now. Suarez playing himself into trouble. He did well to find Busquets. Busquets sets to Neymar. The flag stays down. Neymar was unable to control it first time, but he's running at the defence now. Still Neymar. Messi's with him. Messi gets round Gomez. It's a great hand by Moya. And in the end, it's Godin who gets enough of his head on the ball to get away from Neymar and to win the free kick in the end. Messi once more, when he gets into the box, causing all kinds of trouble for the Atletico defence. It was a quick counter-attack. Neymar just couldn't quite set it up as rapidly as he would have liked. That was a really good right hand from Moya from Messi's attempted cross-stroke shot.
Well, it's the arm across from Neymar on Godin that produced the free kick. I don't think Messi was really expecting that to come back to him, but did he try and set up Neymar so well from the far touchline.
Gomez is looking a little nervous and just managed to get that one away from Neymar. Falls for Alves. Piqué. Diego Godin. Off, good footwork from the Uruguayan. Arda Turan. Here's Griezmann. Games outside him, Arda Turan inside. Griezmann wants to take it off the Turk. Mandzukic. And, well, that's going to fall nicely for Mandzukic. Dispossessed by Jordi Alba, who finds Suarez with a brilliant touch. He finds Iniesta. Barca storming forward now. Rakitic has got Messi wide. Here's Leo Messi. Messi back to Rakitic. He'll get the chance. And in the end, a disappointing cross from the Croatian. Barca looking strong on the break. Unable to make their advantage pay on either of those last two occasions. Here's Games. Thiago. Good steal from Messi. The fans enjoying this. Gets away from Godin. Alves back to Messi. The ball just behind his feet, and not even Leo Messi can control that one.
Barcelona with the pressure, and Atletico Madrid being caught napping on a few occasions. A good stop from Moya from that Messi attempt, and it came back over his head. A foul committed on Godin by Neymar. But on the break, Barcelona looking almost Real Madrid-esque.
Well, once again, Miguel Angel Moya has no rush to take the goal kick. 31 minutes on the clock, still just the one goal between the two sides. Scored by Neymar. Mandzukic gets the better of Busquets. Mascherano, it falls to Arda. Busquets again. Alba to Busquets. And Iniesta fouled from behind by Gabi. Free kick to Barcelona.
Gabi clearly taking down Iniesta. Escapes a booking though. Only seen a couple so far in this game. Not even a free kick for the incident which bloodied Neymar, who looks to be absolutely fine after receiving that knock to the ankle.
Mascherano on the ball for Football Club Barcelona. Dani Alves. Messi again. Back to Alves. Here's Suarez on the edge of the box, wide to Rakitic. Rakitic's Stubbs cross straight at Moya. I think he miscued it there, Rakitic. Wasn't a bad idea, but surprising Luis Suarez, who wasn't able to get on the end of it. It's still 1-0. But that's a dangerous scoreline against Diego Simeone's Atletico. Busquets and Mandzukic, the yellows out for the Croatian. Well, both sets of players quick to get involved. It's Mandzukic who's got the yellow card. Dani Alves playing the peacemaker. Piqué is absolutely furious there. Mandzukic and Busquets again. And the referee should perhaps step in a bit more clearly here.
I'm so concerned with trying to spell Mandzukic's name right. He's just taken his eye off the players who are quarrelling, and this game has the potential to spill over after some tasty challenges early on.
Still Busquets and Mandzukic arguing the toss. Let's look at the incident. Well, Busquets, I think, quite fair going down to that challenge. It's not necessarily a very clear foul. Busquets has a bit of a reputation of going down easily. Still they're at it, these two. And Mandzukic does not want to hear any excuses or any comments from Sergi Busquets there, who didn't respond well to Mandzukic's initial reaction.
And it's only been Mandzukic who's been booked. Sergio Busquets has escaped a booking.
Well, certainly for the original incident, if anybody had to be penalised, it was the Croatian number 9. But Busquets' response could so easily have spilled over to a more serious little battle out there than it did. But certainly moments of tension in the Camp Nou.
That's the most we've really seen from Mandzukic so far in this game. He's looked isolated, he's looked a bit sluggish when he's had the ball as well.
Messi does brilliantly there. Appeals for handball, waved away. Messi to Suarez. 2-0 to Barca. Leo Suarez on the end of it. Luis Suarez. And that's another assist for Messi. 2-0 to Football Club Barcelona. That's what they needed. Quite frankly, Duncan, that's what their dominance has deserved so far after the first 35 minutes.
Sometimes we've seen Barcelona dominate games and not go ahead this season. Leo Messi tearing apart the Atletico Madrid defence on the run. And Atletico so concerned about appealing this handball. Well, they maybe took their eye off Messi, who did not pause for a second. And he always wanted a pass to Suarez. I think it might have just made contact with Gabi on its way.
Well, that's the reason for Mandzukic, who's screaming at referee Undiano. Seeing it from that angle, not quite so clear. From more behind the player, it did appear to come off the top of Messi's arm. Somewhat fortunate there, perhaps, the Argentine to get away with that. Either way, the goal stands, and Barcelona leading 2-0 with 10 minutes to go before half-time. As Games goes down, and free kick to Atletico.
The ball does take a touch off Gabi, and that sets it up wonderfully for Luis Suarez. He had a bit too much pace on it for him to deal with it otherwise, and his side foots home.
Well, there's the celebration of Luis Enrique, but certainly the tension mounting in the Camp Nou. Well, 9 minutes to go until the break, certainly for Atletico, as Mandzukic and Busquets get involved once again. What a battle that's turning out to be. Koke waiting, puts it in, that's a good one, and Piqué did well to head clear. Arda Turan wins the loose ball, back to Koke. Koke's cross, Rakitic gets it away, but only just. It'll be a throw to Atletico, and so much is going to depend now, Duncan, on whether Atletico can perhaps get back in the game by pulling one back before the break. Koke wins the throw, although it did appear it came off Koke rather than Iniesta.
They've only had a couple of spells of isolated possession. They might think about ringing the changes for the second half. Of course, they've got Fernando Torres waiting in the wings. Mandzukic might be a wise idea to take him off at half-time, because Sergio Busquets appears to have got his number.
Games with the long throw, headed on by Godin, out by Jordi Alba, helped on its way by Leo Messi. As Barcelona soak up Atletico's reaction to going 2 goals down. In fact, Barca's second goal clearly coming because Atletico had put so many men forward trying to equalise, caught on the break. Doesn't often happen to Atletico against a team like Barcelona. Good play there by Godin, poor control in the end. Juanfran back to Gabi. Juanfran once again, floating it over the top. It's a big ask for Mandzukic. Jordi Alba, and now Sergio Busquets for Barcelona. Iniesta back to Busquets. Alves and Leo Messi playing absolutely stuck to this right wing. Tries to get past his man, and according to the linesman, it's just a throw. Games, I think it is, is down. He did seem to clash with Messi. Messi appeared to have raised a hand. Games not happy. Well, I think Messi's a bit fortunate there. I don't think there's any really bad intention with his action. I think he's just trying to avoid the clash, if anything, but the arm is raised and the forearm hitting Games on the side of the head or the neck. The referee gives a free kick, but no more.
Looked as if there was no intention of stopping for Leo Messi, but he just wanted to brush Games aside and caught him forcefully just below the ear.
Thiago with the header. There's a bit of a chase for Piqué. Arda Turan goes into press. Piqué protects the ball well and wins the goal kick. Here's Suarez's finish. As you said, Duncan, it bounced up really beautifully for him there, having taken the slightest of touches off Gabi. So a little bit of controversy in Barca's second. I think probably fair to say they deserve the 2-0 lead on the balance, but still got my doubts about whether or not that second goal should have been allowed after Messi appeared to control the ball with his arm.
That could prove to be pivotal as well, because a 1-goal lead is surmountable, but a 2-goal lead is an altogether different prospect for Atletico Madrid. They have to change something because they have only had 1 shot on goal so far from Koke.
Well, certainly experience tells us that anything can happen in the Camp Nou. If Atletico are the next team to score, then it'll definitely be game on, especially with Fernando Torres on the bench, the bête noire of Football Club Barcelona in his Atletico days in the past. Raúl García on the bench too. Meanwhile, here's Suarez trying to get away from Juan Fran, back to Jordi Alba. Griezmann protecting, comes to Busquets. Dani Alves, here's Messi. So dangerous here, Messi. That was a poor one, straight at Thiago. Koke, cleared by Gabi. Only as far as Rakitic, though, as we enter the last 4 minutes of regulation time in this first half. I'm sure we'll have at least 1, if not 2 minutes added for that Neymar injury earlier on. Here's Busquets for Barca. Now Messi. Perfect ball from Messi to Alba. Neymar shrugging away the challenges. Alba back to Iniesta. The home fans enjoying this display. Dani Alves. Well, getting on the end of it was Leo Messi. Neymar was lurking too, and in the end failing to hit the target. Another opportunity for Football Club Barcelona.
Nobody has provided more assists for Leo Messi than Dani Alves. We have another look, and from that angle it looks as if it comes off the bicep of Leo Messi rather than the shoulder. Other angles not so conclusive, but that slow-mo zoomed in appears to suggest that it should have been a free kick to Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, it certainly did appear that way to me, and I think, quite frankly, the response of Jesus Gomez told us that story. But Atletico struggling. Gabi tries to get it away. It hits Iniesta, headed clear by Jimenez. Griezmann, Thiago, calm and cool under pressure there. Arda Turan, we haven't seen much of the Turk in action in this first half. Gets away from Alves, but can't quite see the clearest way forward. Here's Gomez, now Arda Turan again. Jesus Gomez gets into the box, down he goes, told to get up by referee Undiano. Neymar.
We just saw some rather startling pass accuracy statistics. 47% for Atletico Madrid. Barcelona have completed 4 times as many passes as Football Club Barcelona in this game so far.
Jesus Gomez there, feeling the contact, but he ran into and at Gerard Piqué, according to referee Undiano, waving away the half-hearted appeals for a penalty. Is Gerard Piqué. Iniesta. Barca giving the impression of being happy to see the first half out. Mascherano back to Claudio Bravo. Hasn't been much more than a spectator for long periods of this opening half.
Hasn't even really had to deal with any balls floated into the box. The defence have swept all of those up for Football Club Barcelona. The shot from Koke was wide. Only really touches with his feet for Claudio Bravo, and even those have been few and far between.
Iniesta picks out Alba, now Neymar, nearly losing out to Gabi. The rebound coming to Andres Iniesta again. Here's Gerard Piqué. Now Mascherano inside the final minute to see if the assistant adds 1 or 2 to the end of this first half. Dani Alves, applause again from the home fans. Here's Leo Messi. Rakitic first time, straight at Thiago though. Godin. A loose one intercepted by Iniesta. Godin gets rid of it just about. Neymar's under it with Griezmann. Neymar got the better of things. Alba helping out his Iniesta. Oh, what a beautiful piece of skill from Iniesta. And Suarez was unable to take advantage of it. That's what makes Andres Iniesta so special. Just that just that touch of imagination. And in the end, it's only a goal kick for Atletico. Just the 1 minute added, we're inside that. And some of the gestures of the Atletico players, they are suffering. And 2-0 down with the seconds ticking away after the first half here in the Camp Nou.
Well, that pass just before the Iniesta move, it was really sloppy again from Atletico Madrid, have been caught napping on the ball so often, and for a team who pride themselves on the intensity, it seems they're just resting when they're getting the ball, and Barcelona are able to close them down.
Well, certainly Simeone will be having words with his team at half-time. I wouldn't be too surprised to see Raul Garcia perhaps make an entrance. Fernando Torres, depending on the way the second half starts. with also an interesting possibility as referee Undiano Mayenko blows for the end of a lively first half, totally dominated by Football Club Barcelona, who go in at the break 2-0 up. Goals from Neymar and Suarez on 12 and 35 minutes. Suarez perhaps somewhat controversial, as it did appear to include a fairly obvious handball from Leo Messi.
Well, Barcelona looking good for the lead, could even be further ahead. Atletico Madrid will have to change things up in the second half if they're to offer anything of a fight to Barcelona.
Well, we'll be bringing you that second half from the Camp Nou in just about a quarter of an hour's time. Meanwhile, we'll leave you with all the usual BBVA between Football Club Barcelona and reigning champions Atletico Madrid. You can see there Fernando Torres, one of the luxury substitutes for Diego Simeone today, greeting some of the rival players from Barca, back of course from his long hiatus away from the league in the Premier League. Not too sure, Duncan, how happy Diego Simeone would be in seeing Torres fraternise with the enemy.
I think he perhaps needs to be briefed about the new Atletico Madrid way. He's caused some nightmares for Barcelona. Fernando Torres, remember 2 seasons ago in the Champions League with Chelsea against Barcelona in the semi-finals. But I think Simeone probably wants a more soldier-like atmosphere from his team, who've come out very aggressive, although not with the ball in the first half.
Well, it's 2-0 to Barca. The goals from Neymar and Luis Suarez putting away or finishing off a counter-attack led by Leo Messi, which Atletico certainly will be complaining about because he did appear to control it with his arm. The first goal finished off by Neymar. Messi playing wide on the right of midfield, or attacking midfield, almost in a traditional winger's position on the right there, causing plenty of problems for the Atletico defence, especially, perhaps it's fair to say, for the left-back Jesus Gomez, who's won his place tonight over Guillermo Siqueira, who is available as the two presidents have a chat in the presidential box. This is a Camp Nou full of visiting dignitaries tonight. A big game, obviously, in the Liga here. The champions against last season's runners-up.
Well, watching on in this game is going to be Carlo Ancelotti and the Real Madrid team. I'm not sure which they would prefer, a draw in this game or for one of the trailing sides to lose.
I think probably a draw, Duncan, for both of them to drop 2 points. Certainly Real Madrid sitting pretty at the head of the table. They've got a game in hand. They've got distance between them and these two, but they will be facing very early in the second half of the calendar both Real Madrid in the Real Madrid will be facing both Atletico in the Calderón, and then not so long after that, Football Club Barcelona here in the Camp Nou. So 2 tricky clashes for Real Madrid, which, if these 2 sides could manage to win, would certainly leave the title race wide open. Everything to play for on the Liga BBVA, and the first decision by referee Undiano in this second half, a free kick in favour of Atletico, the foul on Mandzukic.
Of course, coming up in February as well, Real Madrid will play their game in hand against Sevilla, so we'll be back to all teams playing on the same match day, and we'll get a clearer picture of how LaLiga is going to progress in the crucial final months.
Well, certainly the visit to the Sanchez Pizjuan by no means easy pickings for any of the big 3 this season. Unai Emery doing a fantastic job with Sevilla, particularly strong at home. Gabi to take this free kick, Mandzukic under it, falls to Griezmann, and that'll be a corner. It came off Luis Suarez. Koke trots across to take it.
I would expect Diego Simeone to have given the hairdryer treatment to his players at half-time, because they've come out for the second half, pressing high, pushing onto Barcelona. We've seen a little bit more of an attack from them.
Koke floating onto the far post. Godin waiting, so too was Busquets. Bravo. It looks as though he just tipped it over the bar. The referee pointing to a goal kick. Difficult to say who that came off last, but did appear as though Bravo, just to make sure. Well, maybe not. Either way, Undiano gives a goal kick. Bravo didn't have very much work to do in that first half, and Atletico will be looking to get back into this game as soon as possible. Mandzukic to Thiago, who misread that, and that's an important steal or interception by Juanfran. Gabi helping out.
Neymar would have been clear through there had Juanfran not stretched out his leg.
Griezmann against Jordi Alba there. Alba appearing to give the Frenchman a bit of a nudge in the back, but certainly Griezmann, one of the few players who could take Jordi Alba on over 60 yards in a sprint. A firm challenge there on Neymar. Another yellow card. Neymar certainly has been receiving some quite severe punishment so far. The game was stopped for a few minutes in the first half when Godin bloodied his heel. And the reason I think Atletico are a bit annoyed is they felt that Griezmann was clearly fouled there by Jordi Alba. I have to say I agree, but the free kick is for the following move against Juanfran, who joins Mandzukic and Jesus Games in the referee's book.
Beautiful touch there from Iniesta.
Rakitic now. Alves leaving it for Leo Messi. Messi wide to Alves. The cross blocked by Jesus Games' back. And the linesman telling the ref that Rakitic has been fouled. There'll be a free kick to Barcelona. Well, he's having a real tough night out there, Jesus Games.
He's been given the nod for this game. He'll perhaps wish that he hadn't been.
It was Koke's foul in the end. Lovely footwork from Andres Iniesta. Koke charging in there and bringing Rakitic down. Arda Turan waiting for the referee to get the magic spray out. Jordi Alba receiving instructions. Rakitic likes the look of this, although Messi is hovering too. It may be better with Messi's left foot. It's going to be that. Headed clear by Godin. Messi will have another chance. Arda sticking with him. Messi gets round him. And it's a goal kick, says the referee. Messi still playing on. And even if the ball had just gone out, certainly there, Messi showing tremendous footwork. Unsue, the assistant of Luis Enrique, urgently trying to explain something to the Barcelona manager, who was also conferring with Jordi Alba. And we'll see if this means Luis Enrique is about to consider making a change.
He'd had Pedro warming up when it looked as if Neymar might not be able to continue.
Another foul there. Juanfran on Neymar. Absolutely no intent to go anywhere near the ball there from Juanfran, who's just picked up a yellow card. And there's the battle between Busquets and Mandzukic. Arda Turan for Atletico.
It's an uneven battle as well, because Mandzukic is on a yellow card, Busquets has not been booked, and that battle is getting very physical on and off the ball. And you would think that perhaps Simeone would look to the bench and look to maybe sacrifice Mandzukic for Torres or Raul Garcia.
Piqué under pressure from Mandzukic, back to Bravo, who clears. Under no pressure at all. Games winning that in the air. It comes to Dani Alves. Leo Messi. Alves again. Alves trying to take it, one man too far. Wins it back. Messi on the ball now. Rakitic out to his right. Turning Koke. Almost just playing at a stroll there, Leo Messi. There's Ivan Rakitic. Busquets. Mascherano to Jordi Alba. Neymar making an intelligent little run into space. Alba again. Lays it off to Neymar. Neymar trying to trick his way past Arda Turan. Gabi now looking to set up Griezmann on the break. Should be Piqué's ball. And does well there, Piqué, to find Bravo, who refuses the option of the long ball. And Arda Turan pushing Iniesta off the ball. That'll be a free kick. But certainly Atletico taking this game to a zone of intensity and at times almost physical aggression that the home fans are somewhat vociferously critical about. Here's Dani Alves. Busquets first time. Leo Messi with a bit of space. Iniesta ahead of him. Alba offering the option to the left. Iniesta driving forward. Rakitic was in a lot of space on the edge of the box. Iniesta instead trying the shot, which was easily blocked. Games, oh, what a superb challenge from Rakitic. Games couldn't complain. That was absolutely brilliant from the Croatian.
Rakitic, who's not renowned for his tackling either, timed that to perfection.
He's putting in a tremendous shift tonight, Ivan Rakitic. Not always showing some of that delightful technique of his, but certainly getting back to track back and help out in defence. And Luis Enrique will no doubt be delighted with his performance so far. Simeone, meanwhile, will have his game plan.
Well, the change for the second half has been to get Atletico Madrid pressing high. They'd only been pressing from halfway up the pitch in the first half. It's now when Barcelona have it at the back that Atletico are piling the players forward.
Juanfran wins the throw, gets the ball back from Gabi, manages to get the cross into the box. Griezmann, oh, he spotted the arrival there of Games, and Games has won a penalty. And it's Leo Messi, the guilty party. And if this was Simeone's game plan, Duncan, it turns the game right on his head. My first impressions is I want to see it again before giving my opinion. It didn't look anything too serious. Games gets the touch. Messi clearly clips him on both feet, one after the other. Referee Undiano's got it right. He's in the perfect position. Clear penalty, I think.
Well, Leo Messi tries to pull out of the challenge. Games wasn't really providing much of a threat because he was turning away from goal. Messi makes light contact, but it is contact. He follows through with the knee, and Undiano Mayenko gets it spot on. It's relatively soft in terms of the danger that Games was providing. It is a penalty. Atletico Madrid have a chance to pull one back.
Well, with just 11 minutes on the clock in this second half, Atletico could hardly have asked for more. Mandzukic, the man who's going to take it. Claudio Bravo, whose responsibility is to try and stop it. An opportunity for Atletico to get right back into this game against the run of play. And the Camp Nou may be annoyed with the referee, but he got that decision spot on. Here's Mandzukic. 2-1, and Atletico are back in the game. Mandzukic puts his finger to his lips, making more friends in Catalonia. And that's his 7th league goal. By no means a bad return. Leo Messi knows that's a penalty. And that driven hard and high and down the middle by Mandzukic. Once Bravo had elected to go right, he had no chance.
Claudio Bravo has not made a save yet in this game. He wasn't going to save that one. Hit with the power from Mandzukic. The Camp Nou has been relatively quiet in this game, just picking up the noise with all the fouls from Atletico Madrid and the incidents in the second half. Mandzukic tried to shush them.
Well, certainly, as I say, against the run of play, although Barcelona have been nowhere near as dominant in this opening 15 minutes almost of the second period. Here's Iniesta on the break now. Rakitic in acres of space to his right. He lays it off to Neymar on the left. Neymar comes up against Thiago. Wins it back off Arda. Lays it off to Suarez. Here's Rakitic. Messi calling for it. Not the greatest ball. He chips it in towards Rakitic. Jimenez in with everything there to get his head to it before the Croatian, who feels he should have got a penalty. Luis Suarez talks himself into getting a yellow card. Mandzukic plays the peacemaker.
Well, the calming influence of Mario Mandzukic coming into play. With Jimenez, who jumps up. We shall see if he put his arm across, but it's yellow card for dissent for Luis Suarez, who's completely lost his cool.
Well, Barca take the throw. Leo Messi on the ball. Busquets. The home fans incensed about that decision, I have to say. It was not as clear-cut, I think it's fair to say, as the penalty committed by Messi in the other area. Free kick given against Juan Torres once more. Neymar writhing around in agony on the ground. But I think if you're given the free kick, you can't expect any further punishment. Certainly, Jimenez goes in there with everything on Rakitic. You could conceivably give a penalty for that, no doubt about it. And the arm is raised and in the Croatian's face too. I think seeing those replays, I have to say, Atletico somewhat fortunate to get away with that.
Well, neither of the players are jumping straight up, but Rakitic's backward momentum is nothing like that almost horizontal jump from Jimenez. And leading with the arm is very risky indeed, especially when you've seen what a referee will give a penalty for.
But certainly Atletico have got this game back into Simeone turf. Mandzukic penalised here.
Well, this is a key moment in the game. Around about half an hour to go. Substitutions sure to be made shortly. This is going to be possibly a turning point in the game after Atletico Madrid have pulled one back. Do they keep Mandzukic on after he looks really up for the second half?
Well, there, I think it's fair to say he's as much sinned against as sinning. There's Jimenez absolutely bulldozering the Croatian Ivan Rakitic to the floor in the Atletico area. Undiano Mayenko unmoved. But certainly, as I say, this is the kind of intensity that Simeone would have liked to see from the start, I'm sure. And possibly frustration for Barcelona to find themselves just one ahead after dominating so clearly. Here's Leo Messi now. Busquets. Rakitic. Alves. Leo Messi. Rakitic to Alves. Alves. Not a bad ball towards Alba. Mandzukic raising the boot again to go in there. There's Andres Iniesta. Alves calling for it. Messi's out there too. Rakitic. Here's Leo Messi. Dani Alves. Games in there firmly. It came off the Brazilian throw to Atletico.
A bit more of an atmosphere at the Camp Nou. Now we look once again. Does come across with the arm, but he almost catches him with his rib cage. So high does Gimenez jump. And he clatters into Ivan Rakitic. Well, another referee might have given a penalty there. Mayenko deciding not to show so shortly after giving the penalty in Atletico Madrid's favour.
Throw into Barca. Alves to take it. He felt it should have been Barca's throw in the first place. Under pressure there, it comes to Mandzukic. Atletico looking strong here. Koke a bit slow to make his mind up. Juan Fran. Good play again by Koke. Juan Fran's cross. Piqué heads clear. And risking everything there, Neymar. And wins a free kick against Gabi. Gabi felt it should perhaps have been the other way around. Pedro warming up again for Barca. Well, they both went for that 50-50 ball. Both raised the boot. Here's Piqué. Busquets to Mascherano.
Atletico pressing a lot higher in this second half. We didn't have that intensity in the first period.
Alves to Busquets, just managing to find Messi, but deep in his own half. Rakitic keeps it in play, wins the throw, wants to take it quickly. Messi too. Messi very nearly got through. Here he is again, now Suarez. Iniesta. Neymar. The shot blocked, it falls for Messi. Tries the shot, it's blocked again, it falls for Griezmann. Wide open now this. Griezmann with no support whatsoever. Does well to win the throw in the end.
Haven't seen too much of Antoine Griezmann in this game so far. He's on a rich run of scoring. Most recently his goal against Levante, which meant that he scored 5 in 2 games. He scored a hat-trick against Athletic Club in the last game before the Christmas break.
Arda Turan on the ball for Atletico, lays it out to Juan Fran. Mandzukic battling with Piqué. Piqué got the better of things. Neymar, lovely footwork to get beyond Gabi from Neymar. Koke coming back. Neymar gets away from Gimenez. He's pulled back by Thiago, who's going to get a yellow. To my count, Duncan, that's the 4th yellow for Atletico. Thiago joining Games, Juan Fran and Mandzukic in the referee's book.
Well, they are playing a risky game, and that's a clear pullback. Neymar could maybe have continued. Decided he was going to stop, but it was a scintillating cut inside from Neymar. Just completely glided past Games.
Well, there you can see on the replay, Diego Godin criticised quite heavily for that first half challenge on Neymar, but there showing just why he's one of the very best centre-backs in the Spanish league. Brilliant block on Leo Messi. Busquets having words with Games and Koke. Koke very aware that close-up cameras may be reading his lips, so prefers to make his comments to Busquets in secret. Moya setting up the wall. It's quite a way back, and we'll have to see if Messi or Rakitic is to take this. I think it slightly suits Rakitic better, but Leo Messi on the pitch. It's going to be Messi, and that one struck Juan Fran on the side of the head. Suarez battling with Godin, and the 2 international teammates battling it out there. Godin coming out on top.
Looked like from a free kick, Neymar was trying to duck down to allow Messi to put it over him. It just clattered into the wall in the end.
Busquets gets the ball back from Dani Alves. Now Rakitic. Here's Mascherano. Jordi Alba. Neymar wins a throw. been particularly impressive, Jordi Alba, of late. And, well, as we suspected, Fernando Torres is going to get 25 minutes or so on the pitch. And whether you like it or not, there's a certain frisson of fear in the Camp Nou whenever Torres comes out onto the pitch. And surely Atletico will be playing that to their advantage. Meanwhile, Dani Alves breaking out. Here's Leo Messi. Cheeky little ball to Alves, who tries to flick it back to Messi, but can only find Koke. Koke in trouble. Wins a throw. It came off Luis Suarez. Here's the first substitution of the evening. Fernando Torres just making sure the hair gel is in the right place. And he comes on for Gabi. And that, Duncan, is a bit of a surprise and a bit of a risky setup as Simeone looks to play with two up front for the moment anyway.
Well, two up front with Griezmann behind as well. And Fernando Torres, he scored 5 goals in 6 games at the Camp Nou. And Simeone is looking for service for him as well. Not taking off one of the strikers, not taking off Griezmann or Mandzukic. Instead, he takes off Gabi. And as you say, a risky move as Atletico look to assert a bit of dominance in the game.
Well, Koke is going to drop back and play alongside Thiago in Gabi's role in front of the back four. And allow Griezmann to move more or less to the left of attack, the left wing. Arda Turan down the right. And Torres and Mandzukic up front. Fighting decision by Simeone. Torres just got his first touch. Griezmann lost it. And in the end fouls Busquets. Free kick to Barcelona. Griezmann not at all happy. And that yellow card is for dissent. Yellow card number 5 for Atletico.
Second yellow card we've seen for dissent. Griezmann joining Luis Suarez in attracting the ire of the referee for a bit of back chat.
We're halfway through the second half, and Luis Enrique taking decision time. Certainly, as we said at the beginning, Duncan, the Atletico bench, on paper anyway, looking stronger really than Barca's bench. They've got Pedro, who's been warming up for a couple of long periods. Munir El Haddadi, Sergi Roberto, Rafinha, Bartra, Adriano and Ter Stegen on the bench for Luis Enrique.
Well, it's unproven players or defensive players, really, the options, apart from if he wants to bring on Pedro, who, to be honest, wouldn't add too much different to what Neymar's offering at the moment. He'd been warming up in the first half in case Neymar had to come off. He's been warming up in the second half. We'll see if Luis Enrique decides to freshen things up.
Rafinha and Bartra warming up alongside Pedro. Goal kick to Football Club Barcelona despite Arda Turan's intentions. And, well, it's a struggle for Barca a little bit at the moment, having dominated so clearly the opening 45 minutes. Should perhaps have gone in a little bit further in front, but Atletico so typically get right back in the game. Neymar unable to control that combination with Alba. Godin playing the ball out for Atletico. Rather hopeful one towards Mandzukic. Easily dealt with by Mascherano. Iniesta now for Barcelona. Piqué out to Dani Alves. Now Messi, Rakitic, Alves. Well, it's certainly one of the most promising performances I think Barca have put in this season in the Camp Nou. Certainly they've got the fans right behind them. Atletico very much the enemy to beat at the moment for Barca. And Iniesta there, preventing Arda from bursting through. Mascherano back to Bravo. Mandzukic goes in to press. And Bravo sends it back into the Atletico half, where Jimenez is waiting. Alba, lovely touch to Iniesta. They're playing with confidence. Jordi Alba, as I said earlier, on great form. There's the chip in. Headed clear by Jimenez. It falls to Andres Iniesta. just ran into one too many Atletico players. Koke. Griezmann forced to slow it down a little bit. Arda to Jimenez, now Thiago.
Well, the intensity and aggression in the game has perhaps disguised the fact that Barcelona have had it relatively easy when they've had the ball, especially in the first half. The second half looking slightly different, and you wouldn't rule out an Atletico goal, even though they've not had too many chances and have yet to produce a save from Claudio Bravo.
Arda Turan on the ball. He's been combining with Juan Fran, but they've just got blocked in there. Neymar breaking out. Messi. Griezmann, he gets away from Griezmann over the top towards Neymar. Well read by Jimenez. They can't get it away though. Here's Alves to Suarez. Mandzukic is with Suarez. Back to Dani Alves again. Torres with the interception, and it'll be a free kick against Luis Suarez in favour of Mandzukic and Atletico Madrid. No love lost, it would appear, between the two rival number 9s. Brilliant challenge there from Busquets, going in with everything and risking his leg in the process. There's the foul given by referee Undiano. Gamez to Thiago. Now Koke back to Thiago. Koke, as I said, assuming the role vacated by Gabi. Jimenez looking to link with Juan Fran. It came off Neymar. Throw to Atletico. Juan Fran wants to take it quickly. Arda gets away from Alba. Can he get away from Mascherano? He needs support. In the end, he wins a free kick, which is probably just about the best result he could have got from there with his back to goal.
Diego Simeone is going to make a change. Raul Garcia is going to come on, it appears. As Mascherano brings down Arda Turan.
Mascherano's response demonstrates what he feels about that. I think the referee's given him a yellow card. It certainly looks like that.
Only the second Barcelona player booked, and Luis Suarez's booking was for dissent, so the first yellow card for a challenge.
Well, it's Raul Garcia coming on for Griezmann. Griezmann, who's certainly covered a lot of ground, as you can see, and that's not a bad substitution, I think. Fresh legs of Raul Garcia, very much one of Simeone's men. Tremendous foot soldier for the Argentine coach, and not a man to take a step back when things get intense and physical. Koke to take the free kick. Gets it in there superbly. Piqué heads out. Suarez, the delicate touch to Iniesta. Suarez again looking for Neymar. He's onside, but well, that was one that Koke had to win, had to control, and he did it brilliantly. Godin. Again, Suarez, Godin, teammates in the Uruguayan national side, having a tremendous battle out there tonight. And Atletico pushing Barcelona back more than at any other stage in the game. Jordi Alba intercepting that. Throw to Atletico. Still to make a change, Luis Enrique. That's a good ball in from Torres. Did really well to get that into the 6-yard box. Piqué clears. Throw to Atletico. Juan Fran's going to try and get the throw into the area. But in the end, Arda Turan offers a shorter option. Good ball in. Torres on his chest on the turn. And the whistle goes.
It might have been for handball against Fernando Torres. Well, no, it's an offside position.
Yeah, brilliant control. Brought it down superbly on his chest. On the turn, tried to get the shot off, but had been offside when the ball was played. Here's Iniesta for Barcelona. Alba to Busquets. Good atmosphere in the Camp Nou. Not always the most electric of atmospheres created in this stadium, but there's the real sense the team need the fan support right now. Here's Messi getting away from Torres. Getting away from everyone, finds Jordi Alba. Neymar, and well, Thiago didn't know too much about that, but got it away. Good challenge from Jordi Alba again. Iniesta to Rakitic, first time cleared by Jesus Gomez, only as far as Busquets. Alba once more for Barca, trying to get away from Raul Garcia. Here's Neymar. Alba, Neymar again. Leo Messi. Messi still goes, and in the end it's Juan Fran who plays the ball out. Slip from Mascherano. It's Mandzukic. He's got Torres in the middle. That's a good ball, and Bravo was brave, as his name suggests, and got to that just in the nick of time.
Excellent run from Torres, just stepped off the defender, made his run, and he was setting up to shoot. Bravo gets there in the nick of time. First time he's really had to make an intervention in this game.
Well, that's why Simeone's brought him on. Great work, though, from Arda Turan. Bravo with the clearance. Neymar getting above Juan Fran. Coque bringing it down, dispossessed by Andres Iniesta. How great to see Iniesta play with such intensity. Here's Busquets. Leo Messi. Oh, he gets away from Arda Turan. Suarez sees Alves brilliantly. Can Alves make the cross play? Loses his footing. May have lost the chance. Somehow gets the ball in. Godin gets it away. Iniesta hoiks it out towards Neymar. And the referee blows, I think, for offside again. Either way, Luis Suarez wasn't too keen on the referee's decision. Miguel Angel Moya to take this. Of the two keepers, he's had the least work to do in this second half. That's the reason I think Suarez was annoyed. He felt he'd been fouled in the box. Cleared by Busquets. Convincingly won by Jimenez. Raul Garcia. That's not a bad ball. Piqué, in the end, loses out to Mandzukic, but Mandzukic well away from the danger area, twisting and turning, and he wins a corner. Piqué annoyed there. Mandzukic might just have caught him in the nose there, I think clearly without intention. And it was Luis Suarez having words with Jimenez. That was a brilliant ball in and excellent goalkeeping from Claudio Bravo. Danger here for Barca. Atletico, the corner experts. Coque to take it. And it's headed clear by Ivan Rakitic. Comes down to Arda Turan. Gomez finding Torres. Torres gets away from Alves. Good ball in, headed clear by Gerard Piqué. Thiago puts it back in towards Arda Turan. Piqué's got to be careful here. He's grabbing the Turk. He finds Torres. Bravo can't hold it. Alba gets it out as far as Raul Garcia, who tries to chip it over the keeper, who had recovered his ground. Now Messi on the break. Gomez is with him. He's also got Neymar in the middle. Here's Messi. He's also got Suarez now. Still Messi. Well, any advantage Barca had is lost as Torres goes in to press Messi. Finally lays it off to Alves. Messi wants to do it all alone. The boot is raised. I think Moya is exaggerating. Jimenez goes in to have words with Messi. And a yellow card for Leo Messi. Well, Duncan Bishop, a yellow card for Messi for a foul on the keeper. He's given a penalty away. Is Leo Messi the dirtiest player in the Liga BBVA?
Leo Messi has his foot up there. Didn't make too much contact with Moya, certainly not with his face, because Moya was pushing out both hands to prevent the boot from Messi making contact. That was a great setup from Arda Turan initially. Raul Garcia took too much time on the shot.
Well, with 10 minutes to go in the Camp Nou, Barcelona still with the slightest of advantages, 2-1. Barca's goals coming in the first half from Neymar on 12 minutes, and just after the half hour from Luis Suarez. Mandzukic pulling one back for Atletico with a clear-cut penalty committed by Leo Messi in the second half. And anything can happen in these remaining 10 minutes. At the moment, Barca looking to be, well, under a lot of pressure, but always likely to test Atletico Madrid in the event of breaking out. Cicada warming up for Atletico. Left back, the Brazilian. Interesting to see who he comes on in place of.
There's a slightly more attacking full-back, but still a defensive change, not really what the doctor orders for Diego Simeone in the final 10 minutes of the game.
I think perhaps it may well be for that reason the pace of the Brazilian on the left wing, giving Raul Garcia a chance to adopt a more central role. It's Arda Turan. No, it's not. The cameraman there making us think it was the Turk who was being taken off. Godin involved again, this time with Suarez. There's a yellow card for Godin. It may well become a red if he doesn't get a grip. Dani Alves having a couple of words with the Uruguayan. Godin would appear to be quite determined to keep this going a bit longer, but he's got to be careful. It's clearly up with the arm. That's a bit of a go at Suarez. I think there's no doubt that that's a foul. Whether the yellow card is for the challenge or his descent afterwards, I don't know. Straight swap. It's going to be Cicada for Games, and I'm sure we'll see Cicada getting up into attacking positions down the left wing for Atletico in these remaining 7 minutes plus.
Well, a rather belated changer. Jesus Games, perhaps the weak link in the Atletico side in the first half. Cicada had been expected to come in ahead of him in the starting lineup. He has to wait until the 82nd minute to make his appearance.
Well, Rafinha is going to be Luis Enrique's first change, the product of the Barca Academy, the Masia. Great fan, Luis Enrique is, of Rafinha, the younger brother of Thiago. Messi, Neymar rather, gets beyond Juan Fran. It falls for Leo Messi. He chooses to try and place it instead of blasting it past Moya, and in the end wasn't too difficult for the Atletico keeper to get his body behind that.
Suarez couldn't get to it, but it worked out perfectly for Leo Messi to set up for a shot. He's got plenty of goals like that storming into the box.
Torres, who finds Mandzukic, who wins another corner. Well, there's always that run of nervous tension around the Camp Nou when Barca face a corner. Rafinha just warming up for his substitution. Came back from loan with Celta, with Luis Enrique, his manager last season up in Galicia. In comes the corner, players down. Comes to Thiago. Straight down the throat of Claudio Bravo.
Comfortable catch in the end for Claudio Bravo, but an air of nervousness with every Atletico Madrid corner. They still have Mandzukic and Godin on, who are absolute specialists at getting their heads to crosses in.
Well, a little bit fortunate there, Busquets. He manages to find Iniesta in the end. Iniesta shakes off the attentions of Thiago. Alves back to Busquets. Jordi Alba. Neymar. Brought down by Koke. Referee allowing play to continue momentarily. And, well, I'm not going to tell you what I read on Neymar's lips there, but wasn't a pleasant message. Koke late with the challenge. Raul Garcia in firmly. It was Raul Garcia who annoyed Neymar. Garcia reacting in kind. Indiana having words with Neymar. And meanwhile, Neymar's down again. Smile on his face. Neymar involved. Godin not happy. Busquets making peace, as too is Mandzukic. Well, Neymar does have a tendency to go down a bit easily at times, but Raul Garcia shouldn't get involved, quite frankly. And, well, whilst it's not the hardest shove we've ever seen, it's there's a little bit of aggression there. And Raul Garcia a bit fortunate. Koke, the most intelligent of all, hiding his comments from everyone except Neymar in his ears, as Piqué clears. Coque does brilliantly to find Torres there. Torres looking slow, caught out by Andres Iniesta. Busquets does brilliantly to get away from Coque there. So easy to forget what a brilliant player Busquets is sometimes with the dirty work he's obliged to do, sweeping up behind the attack. Good ball from Suarez. Leo Messi finds Rakitic, the flag stays down. Messi misses it, gets another bite of the cherry. Thank you very much, Leo Messi. Game, set and match to Football Club Barcelona. Those three men are Barcelona's attacking trident. They've each scored a goal tonight. They each scored a goal on Thursday in the Cup or more. Barcelona 3, Atletico 1. No wonder the Camp Nou is delighted. No wonder the troubled president, Mr. Bartomeu, looks tremendously relieved.
Well, they soaked up the intensity from Atletico Madrid. They were set for a nervy final couple of minutes. Leo Messi's just erased any doubts that there were. The ball to Rakitic, suspicion of offside, flag stayed down. And Leo Messi got a second bite at it. He was never going to miss a second time out from just a few yards out.
Good ball originally across the face of the box by Suarez. Messi gifted it, I think, by Jimenez there. Nobody perhaps expected Messi to miss it. In fact, it's Raul Garcia who fails to clear it and ends up with the assist for Leo Messi. Now's the moment for Luis Enrique to make his first change of the evening. On comes Rafinha, as I said. A fetiche player, really, for Luis Enrique. And it's Ivan Rakitic who gets an excellent and well-deserved ovation from the Camp Nou.
He has very much aided his cause, Ivan Rakitic. He's proven he can play in the big games. Maybe not the most impressive attacking performance from him. He's really put in a shift defensively, putting in the challenges, and has played some lovely balls forward as well for the strikers.
Well, I think, Duncan, it's fair to say, although it's not over yet, because the referee will be adding some time, and Atletico, you know, you can never rule them out until the final whistle goes. But Barcelona deserving their lead, although Atletico are much improved in this second half.
Yeah, much better in the second half from Atletico. They will wonder what would have happened had they pushed up a bit higher in the first half, really gone for the game instead of sitting back. They've let Barcelona have the possession in the second half as well. We see the stat 30% for Atletico, but they've looked so much better in the second period. It's just unfortunate for them that they didn't do it earlier.
Here's Neymar, Rafinha rather, lays it off to Neymar. Jordi Alba supporting the Brazilian. We're inside the final minute of regulation time. Here's Rafinha once more. Haven't seen too much of him in the blue and red of late. Busquets finds Alves. Barca happy just to keep the ball away from Atletico, who have stopped pressing now. They know, I think, fair to say that it's all over. Can't imagine referee Undiano adding more than 3, maximum 4 minutes, as Pedro, who's been warming up since about halfway through the first half, about to come on at last. Brilliant play, brilliant jinking run from Neymar. He's smashed into by Godin. Juanfran having a little kick at him on the ground. The referee wave play on. Juanfran absolutely out of order there. No need for that whatsoever. It's Godin who goes down and stays down. I don't know if many tears will be shed for Godin in the Camp Nou tonight.
That's ridiculous from Juanfran afterwards. A couple of kicks, yeah, you've got your hands behind your back, but kicking out at Neymar, who'd run into Godin in the initial incident. 3 minutes to be added on. We've had plenty of stoppages for various incidents in the second half. It's got a little bit dirty, which has been a shame, but it's been very fun to watch.
Well, Pedro comes on to replace Suarez. A big round of applause for Suarez, the scorer of Barca's second goal. There's Messi scoring their third. It's been a bit scrappy at times, but to my mind, of the two teams out there, Duncan, the one who have dedicated the 90 minutes to playing football has been Football Club Barcelona, and the response at times from Atletico Madrid has been a little unpleasant to watch.
Yeah, even towards the end of the first half, it threatened to spill over, and Atletico Madrid have only upped the intensity in the second period. Luis Enrique could have taken off any of his strikers and they would have been deserving of a standing ovation. Excellent performance from the front three tonight.
Certainly good news for Barca, seeing these three on scoring form. Big smiles on their faces, because Barca's eventual success or failure this season is going to depend so much on this trident. Difficult to think, apart from perhaps the obvious comparison with Real Madrid, of a stronger attacking three in world football. Perhaps Bale, Benzema and Ronaldo, the only ones on the level of Messi, Suarez and Neymar on their night. And, well, certainly this one adds a little extra spark to the fight for La Liga 2014-2015, as Barcelona prepare to move up into second place behind Real Madrid.
We're going to move 3 points clear of Atletico Madrid and just a point behind Real Madrid, who do have that game in hand.
Rafinha gets that away. Certainly, to my mind, Raul Garcia, we just saw there, the one who goes down again. Jimenez, and in that last little incident, Juanfran, as well as Mandzukic, haven't exactly covered themselves in glory. An aggressive performance from Simeone's team tonight. Good work there by Torres. It's a good save too by Bravo, but the whistle had gone before Mandzukic could receive it on the far post.
Got in clearly offside, Mandzukic as well.
Well, the 3 points have been earned by Barca tonight. They've worked really, really hard dealing with this very tough, battling Atletico side. And I think deserving of the 3 points. There's the final whistle. It's Barcelona 3. Goals from the trident: Neymar, Suarez, Messi, Mandzukic from the penalty spot, pulling one back for Atletico. But Barca moving 3 points clear of their rivals, now all alone in second place.
Clearly the better side tonight, Football Club Barcelona. That will ease things a little bit for Messrs Bartomeu and Luis Enrique. Barcelona going 3 points clear of Atletico Madrid. Diego Simeone's side only really starting to play in the second half, and at times it wasn't really playing, it was out and out aggression. They've got Real Madrid coming up, Atletico Madrid, and their winning run has come to an end.
Well, good to see after such a hard-fought game, the players of both teams taking the result, winning Barcelona's for Barcelona, defeat for Atletico, but taking the result in such a sportsmanlike way at the end of the 90 minutes. That's perhaps the most important message coming from the Camp Nou. But Leo Messi certainly giving his all tonight, as did his fellow Trident members Neymar and Luis Suarez. And we're going to have a quick word with Neymar.
Esta temporada, Neymar, ¿qué tal? Buenas noches.
Congratulations, Neymar.
I'm very happy with everything tonight. We did a lot of good things during the game. I'm very happy with how the game went.
This win helps to close all the open wounds in this club.
Well, that's in the past. Now we need to keep our heads on the game, and we've just been focusing on this last game, and we had a really great game today.
Who is it who's won the game? The manager, the players?
I think everybody that we have is dedicated to taking this important win.
Neymar, is there a good relationship in the changing room with the players and the manager?
No, we don't have any problems. Everything that's gone on is in the past, so we're just focused.
Who's in charge, Messi or Luis Enrique?